Hello and welcome. I'm Rene Dubois. You're watching Sovereign Voices. I hope you've enjoyed it so far. I have been doing this for quite a few weeks now, trying to introduce my Think Leadership series. By now, I'm sure you have heard of the massive blue wave victory for the Democrats in the recent elections on Tuesday, which could have been weeks ago, depending on when you watch this video. But what I would like you to know is what Donald Trump is saying. What isn't he saying that's not stupid? But I'd like you to know what he's saying and what he's attempting to do because this huge loss was really directed at him and because of him and the Republican Party. The Republican Party, as you know, are gathering up ways to gerrymander, simply put, to cheat, because they can't win on integrity, they can't win on truth, they can't win on hard work. It's all based on lies, isn't it? You know it and I know it. More importantly, they know it. Healthcare is being held hostage just like food. Healthcare is a right, isn't it? It's not a ransom. And I want to talk about that today in this broadcast. How dysfunctional do you have to be? But how this particular bloke, Donald Trump's leadership, is turning medicine into a weapon. 42 million people are going without food because Donald Trump is using hungry people as a weapon to get his lousy, lying health care bill passed, but the Democrats are holding steady. And I'm so thankful to God for that. From Medicaid cuts to blocked aid packages, this dysfunctional jerk of a leader is weaponizing health once again against the very people it's meant to protect. The impact is especially brutal, I think, on low-income families. Well, whether I think that or not, the facts are there, and all you have to do is read the facts. The low-income families, we're talking about women with children, no father, no husband, and rural communities, well, let's face it, brown, black, poor people who rely on public support to survive. How cruel do you have to be? And what part of hell do you come from to treat people like this when you lied during a campaign talking about lowering the costs and making sure that everybody lives a great life? Now, I knew he was lying all along, but many of you did not, and now you're suffering. Let's talk about this. The withholding of emergency funds is a national emergency all within itself, isn't it? But Trump's refusal to release aid is not only punishing the American people for political gain because he doesn't want to lose face, it's a deliberate act of harm to the vulnerable. But he doesn't give a bloody flip. All he cares about is winning and looking good and maybe getting the Nobel Peace Prize. But I warn you, the committee of the Nobel Peace Prize, those people are not stuck on stupid like the GOP and Donald Trump. They know well what he's driving at and what he's attempting to do. The Nobel Peace Prize belongs to solid, good people of character and integrity. Let's talk about my second point. Weaponizing healthcare is the new GOP playbook. They're all for it. They're not even willing to get rid of the filibuster. Now, look, the filibuster and losing it would hurt people and the Democrats, but healthcare programs are being systematically dismantled. Hello? Under the guise of budget negotiations. They are liars from hell. Stop thinking that the Democrats are at fault, because if they don't hold steady, you're going to be paying more than 2,000-3,000 for your premiums for healthcare. In fact, it's ideological warfare on working families. I would call it the idiot syndrome. But never mind, I'm going to try to be, as I often say, kind, nice, and sweet. My point number 3, from a pandemic response to the post-COVID collapse, remember that stupid idiot told people to drink bleach because that would help? While healthcare systems were still recovering from leadership failures and amplifying collapse by gutting what little support remains, the guy lost his mind. And by the way, I'm of those who believes he's got dementia, heart failure. I believe all of these doctors and specialists that are conveying this 4 to 6 months to live. Okay, I'm willing to believe that because he's acting like an idiot. My next point, ransom politics. Now here's where it gets a little stupid and really deep. Using hunger, sickness, and fear as leverage is a betrayal of every democratic value you can imagine. This is not governing. It's not vision. It's vengeance. Did you hear me? It's bullying with consequences. Excuse me. It's not vengeance, or rather, it is vengeance, but it's not a vision. Time to mobilize, folks. Citizens must demand protection of their health care rights. And that 7 million Americans that marched, and even people in other countries around the world, where Americans were saying, we must reject this manipulation and the rise up with a clear message. Healthcare is a right. It's not a ransom. I want to say a few more things just to make my points very, very clear. Donald Trump is taking healthcare, or rather, he's taking SNAP benefits, and he announced a few days ago that he is not going to release the emergency funds to fund SNAP benefits until the Democrats open or reopen the government. Well, hell, Democrats didn't close the government. You did, Donald Trump. The GOP did, Donald Trump. And that spineless jerk, yeah, I said it, Speaker Mike Johnson. I had to think of his name because he's such a weak back. You people are the ones that shut down the government. Do you American people realize that the Democrats are on the Hill, ready to work? Not one Republican in the House is in D.C. They've been out for weeks. Why? Because Mike Johnson said they're not coming back until the Democrats comply with their demand, which is going to hurt you. I don't need health care, so I'm talking to you. I can afford to fly to Dubai or back home to Paris or anywhere in the world to get health care and health treatment. But you, my friends, my fellow citizens, you cannot do that. So what they are doing, the Republicans want to pass that bill, and they cannot without the votes of the Democrats. Listen to me, please. So now, because the Democrats are saying, no, we're not going to sign, we're not going to vote, we're not going to allow you to rape, basically, the American people on health care, because most of that 20 or more million Americans on health care Obamacare in particular. But you see, that's what, at the end of the day, that's what's bothering the GOP, especially Donald Trump. He's a racist SOB from hell. Yeah, I said it because it needs to be said. What diplomatic president creates a video where he's dumping crap on the people he's supposed to be governing and protecting? Oh, for those of you Americans who are stuck on Trump and loving everything he does, you're jackasses. And you belong in the pit of hell right along with him. Hello. You're suffering too. And if it hasn't come to your house yet, keep breathing, keep living, because it's coming. Now, let me get back to my point. Democrats are refusing to cave in because the moment they do, the Republicans win at raping and ripping you from decent premiums to pay for health care. God help you if you've got cancer or one of your children. God help you if you're insulin dependent. God help you if you have some major health crisis. You or 2 or 3 people in your family. You're going to go from $200 a month in a premium to $2,000 a month if the Democrats cave in. But according to Democrats and Mr. Jeffries, they're not going to cave in. So Democrats have made it emphatically clear. Well, the Republicans have decided we're not going to cave in either. So Republicans are now telling the Democrats and the American people, if you want to eat, listen to me. Republicans are telling you, if you want to eat, if you want to have funding returned to your SNAP card so that you can live, so that you can eat like everybody else, like their children are doing, and they are doing, and their wives are doing. They're telling you that the Democrats have got to cave in and allow them to make you pay thousands of dollars per month for health care when many of you can't even afford to pay your mortgage or your rent, and therefore you're working 2 or 3 jobs. What don't you understand about that? Why is your head still up the derriere of the GOP and Donald Trump? You're just gonna gag to death. So figure out a way, and I think this past blue wave victory, many of you Americans have figured out who's right and who's wrong. Believe me when I tell you, if the Senate gets rid of the filibuster, what that means is that the Republican Party, the GOP, they don't need the vote from the Democrats. They can just do what the hell they want to do to destroy your health. But if they get sick, they've got the money to go pay for it. And by the way, this shutdown is not on the Democrats. It's on the Republicans. The next time those lying asses tell you that they want to negotiate, but the Democrats are holding out, you think on this. Who's in D.C. right now? The Democrats. Where are the Republicans? Where are the GOP? They're on vacations. They're on boats, fishing. I'm so pissed off I can't talk. They're on the golf course, winning and losing. They're not where they're supposed to be. Hell, even Marjorie Taylor Greene is doing all kinds of press conferences and appearances. She has turned her back on the GOP, rightfully so.